Good evening, everybody. Go ahead and invite somebody in. Welcome to the living room. So glad that you stopped by. Go ahead and invite somebody in. We got some awesome conversation happening tonight. You don't want to miss this. I'm telling you, with all the stuff that's going on, you want to be in the place. So go ahead and invite your friend, your cousin, get your dog, grab your cat, and get you a good seat. Get you some juice, some popcorn, and get ready for some great conversation. Now, it's only polite that as you come in the living room, you announce yourself. So whether you're watching on YouTube or Facebook, go ahead and announce yourself in the comment section. I would like to speak to you. It's only polite. That's how we do it. You know, we got good home training. When you come in the house, you speak. You say hello. So as you're coming in, go ahead and announce yourself so we can greet you as you're coming in. We have a special guest tonight, and I tell you, I'm so excited about the show. It's going to really be awesome. So it's not too late to invite that person that you know just gotta be there. Just gotta be there and let them know what's going on. Tonight we're going to be talking about taking charge of your mental health and well-being. So last week I kind of talked about and launched it about what's going on in your mind, and we kind of just had a casual conversation and talk about how to release those ideas and get through that, and we talked about healthy stress, and somebody might ask what that is. You just don't stay there. You don't stay in that place. So we have an expert tonight. I just finagled through what I experienced, but we have an expert tonight that's going to help us, give us some insight. So go ahead and invite your friend. If that girlfriend would tell you, girl, I'm stressed out, go ahead and click them on. Click them on, tell them, come on in the living room. If your mom, your cousin, I'm just so full, I'm worried, I'm just stressed, they need to be in the house tonight. So go ahead. Y'all know how we do it. We'll be starting straight up at 8:05. We're just giving everybody time to get in and get their seats. Again, as you're coming in, we're broadcasting in 2 locations. We're on YouTube as well as Facebook. Y'all forgive me, last week I did not know Facebook has kind of tightened up on their censorship, so they cut my whole show off. They cut the whole show off, so because I played a song. So I'm prepared tonight, so we got some good things happening. So enjoy the music, sit back, kick your shoes off, and get ready. Good afternoon, Miss Queenie. Good evening, rather. Miss Queenie, welcome to the living room. So glad. Miss Queenie is a regular. I hope you're feeling all right tonight, dear. Been praying for you. Hey, Val. And of course, the wifey is in the living room, y'all, and we already got my water. We're going to get some good conversation going. So go ahead and invite somebody in, and we'll be starting momentarily. Welcome to the living room, Jules. Thank you for stopping by and hanging out with us for thought-provoking conversation that's sure to cause a change, a shift in your life. If this is your first time with us in the living room, then that's what we do. We just have casual conversation, and we engage in process and help people come into new ways of walking out the Word of God. This platform is biblically based, where the Lord just had me to walk out practical teaching, because a lot of time we know the Word of God, but it's like putting it in practicality. So I invited my guest tonight because the Word of the Lord lets us know in the multitude of counsel there is safety. So that means counseling is spiritual. I don't care, a lot of people kind of frown against that, but we need somebody to talk to, so I'm not going to blow it all tonight. I'm just excited. I'm really excited. Hey, Rosetta, what's going on? Thank you for hanging out with me in the living room. Welcome. Pull up a chair and get ready. It's about to be on and popping in the living room. Now, while you all are waiting, go ahead and invite somebody else in. And if they're working or busy, they can always catch the replay. We also have the replay, and we're broadcasting in 2 locations tonight. That is Facebook and also YouTube. Some people, can connect on YouTube if you in Facebook jail. Some of us in Facebook jail, so you can go to YouTube and still get all the stuff that we're going to talk about tonight. Are you all ready? Are you ready? Let's get on into this. This is going to be awesome. Again, you're tuned into the living room where we have thought-provoking conversation that's sure to cause a change in your life. Let's go.
Yo, JJ, let's go. Come on in to the living room. Yeah, we welcome you to the living room. Yeah, come on in to the living room. Your boy Rob on the vocals. Let's go. Come on in to the living room. Yeah, come on in. Thought-provoking conversations that transforms life. Come on in to the living room. We welcome you home to the living room. That's the Drake. It's in your hands.
All right, guys, what's going on? If you just joined us tonight, I'd like to say welcome to the living room. Let me turn my camera light on, y'all. Hold on one second. Got to help a brother out, Thank you all for joining us tonight. If you see my cool shades, y'all, these cool shades, they're supposed to be blue blockers, so I won't get, because I have my lighting and all that kind of stuff. But thank you all so much for joining us in the living room. And we have an exciting show tonight scheduled for you, so it's not too late. I see people are still getting on, so go ahead and invite somebody because you don't want to miss this. And also just keep in mind that we are broadcasting from Facebook as well as YouTube. So many people, good evening. Thank you for stopping by. This has just been an exciting time. So I wanted to do something different, and I have my guest tonight that I'm going to bring on momentarily. But I want you all to just get ready to, I don't have a long introduction, but what I do have, you can check out her at the end of the show. I'm going to put up her website, and you also can check out her Facebook. This is a friend of my wife's, and I wanted to invite her on the show because so much stuff has been going on as it relates to our stress level. If you have been experiencing some type of stress level, I want you to just put a little hand emoji in the comment section. Say, yes, that's me. I mean, we experience in, different ways, but I don't know her personally, but I know her spirit is very warming, and I believe she's going to really share some insight with us in that manner and kind of help us navigate through these things. Hey, Nora, welcome. Pull up a chair. All right, I see those hands going up. Elizabeth, welcome to the living room. So we want to go ahead and give her a chance to talk. I'm going to shut my mouth because y'all know I like to talk. And you got to stick around to the end because, as always, we do a segment called What's New With Me. So I got some stuff. You're going to want to hear this after the show. So hang around and stick around for What's New. What's up, Miss Sharon? God bless you. God bless you. So my I'm about to say my client. I'm thinking I'm in the salon, but my guest is I'm going to bring her in there. Her name is Taylor Presha. I think, did I pronounce that right? Okay, Presha. A beautiful name. Sounds like a designer handbag. But we're going to bring her on. And so are you all ready? It's not too late for you to click on and invite somebody, let them know that we're on, because I want everybody to hear this. I believe it's going to be real good, all the juiciness. You don't want to hear about it. You want to be here first. I hate to hear stuff. I'm like, you should have been there. No, you can be here. So go ahead and click. So I'm going to go ahead and bring her on, and I'm going to stop talking. And we're going to greet her as she come on. All right, y'all ready? All right, so y'all got to put up some signs, some emojis or something. Let me know that you're ready. You're ready. You got your space cleaned out. Hey, Elder Norma. What's up, Veronica? Purple Star. Jennifer is here. Thank you, Jennifer, and welcome to the living room. So without any further ado, we're going to go ahead and bring her on. I introduce to you all Miss Taylor Presha. God bless you, and let's Uh-oh. Did I not? Oh, here we go. All right. There we go. Hey. What's going on? How are you?
Good evening on
All
this
right.
light fall evening in Florida. As a true Floridian girl, I'm kind of like, ooh, it's boot weather.
I know, right? Yeah. Yeah, that's also my favorite time of the year. I always tell Val, I'm like, I love the fall. I mean, the first day it was chilly. You want to put out your stuff. I had on a hoodie, so I can relate to you when you're
Pull
talking
out
about
this
your
sweater,
boots.
you're gonna dust it off because we don't get this kind of weather
Right.
often down here.
Exactly. It's beautiful. I'm so glad that you agreed to, share on the show and just have this conversation with me. I am so glad people are still
Absolutely.
logging on. So we want to just dive right in and just go for it. So first I want to just ask you a few questions, and y'all, we're gonna have conversation. If you have any comments that you would like to direct towards Taylor as we're going on in the interview, drop them in the comment section, and I'll try to do my best to pop them up, and she'll answer them for you, if that's okay. That's okay.
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay. All right. So let's get into this. So tell us about Taylor. Who is Taylor?
Yes. Oh my gosh, that's such a monumental question, right? We ask that for everyone. Who are you?
Right.
How do you define yourself? And I wear so many hats: mentor, educator, mother, wife, sister, daughter, and it really all encompasses part of me. And my true self is that someone who is here to just deliver messages of positivity, reach the masses, if you will, and just spread that joy and passion that I have for life. I'm a mental health
Absolutely.
counselor right now, but before that, I was a teacher for 4 years.
Wow.
And
Okay.
yeah, I taught science, right, at a high school, 9th through 12th graders, and I loved it. It was so enriching. And, all those experiences have encompassed to this point where I'm gifted with so much knowledge and wealth that I pass it along to everyone I meet, honestly.
That is awesome. Now, I didn't have this on the script, and like I told you earlier, Taylor,
Absolutely. You go
we
for
said
it.
don't talk about
I'm
that.
down for the cause.
Now, you were a science teacher. Now, I bet that was exciting. You said middle school age, was it?
High school.
High school. So where did the transition come from science teacher to mental counselor? Mental
Yes,
health
right?
counselor. Like how did those mesh together to put you in this place?
Absolutely. So I actually got my mental health counselor degree while I was teaching high school. So I'd be up at like 5:30, 6 a.m., teach science, with the high schoolers, our teenagers. They're a little rough around the edges, but, they warm my heart. And so I leave there 2:30, 3 o'clock, go to, campus at UCF, learn my stuff for mental health, and then be back home by like 10, 11. And I did that for essentially 3.5 years.
Wow.
And why I kind of left education is that there was something in me, that calling to say, I can do a little bit more. I could reach more people. I can reach others in a way that connects them to who they are as a person. Because I know your intro came in and talking about like the pandemic, talking about 2020 as a whole, that calendar year, and low key, a little bit of 2021. That is, one of my passions of exposing and bringing out in others what they, keep hidden and help healing. And so I knew that with teaching, I would be limited in healing others. And so I kind of left, a little bittersweetly to where, okay, this is my next calling. And sometimes, we call about calling, our spiritual purpose is that, like, really, are you sure? We're like, I'm comfortable here. I'm good. I got routine. But it's like, no, baby, I need you somewhere else. And so that really what prompted me on this passion and this path of becoming a mental health counselor and owning my own practice, because I can design it in a way to reach others in such a vast kind of, platform.
And that's awesome what you said too, because a lot of times in our journey, I call it journey, sometimes we change up and we buck against it. But like you said, you fulfill that and it's now time to move on. And a lot of times we're hesitant about it, but that's where our purpose is for that time and that season. So when we talk about, you own your own practice and starting that, like how to talk to us about how you got started with your
Yes.
own practice. That is awesome in of itself,
Thank
your
you.
own
Thank
practice.
you. Yes. And it was a lot. I'm not gonna lie. I remember when I was having this conversation with my mom. I was like, "Yeah, I want to own my own practice." She's like, "Are you sure? It's a lot of work." I'm like, "No, it's gonna be easy. You just apply online, get your LLC, and you go." Little did I know it's a lot more work and logistical
Right.
aspects that go behind it. But I saw, in a sense, a glimpse of where I want to go. Right? We have this vision, we have this idea, this dream. Like, okay, this is my end, but how do I get there, right? And
Right.
so you just start. And I think that's the hardest part that a lot of people struggle with when they have that big vision, that big goal. It's the initiation. And so I said,
Right.
you know what? I'm gonna have faith. I'm gonna, just start it. And that was what got me to this point of owning my own practice. I'm a year and a half into it, steadily growing each month. Clients keep coming back. So of course I'm doing
Wow.
something
Praise
right.
God.
Profits are growing, and the logistical side of it is learning. And I definitely have that strong support system as well from my best friend, from my mom, my family, my husband. They definitely help support me along this journey as I cultivate and grow my practice into something where I know it's going to continue to reach more and more people.
Right. That's something you said, like when you started your practice, it was hard, but you kind of pressed through that and got her done, as I like to say. But
Absolutely.
one of the things that, like, as you transition, because and I'm pretty sure some of y'all, if you have comments, please put them in here because we'll direct them towards her after I get my say out. But like navigating through that with it being hard, what did you do to kind of keep yourself, if I can say, like balance between that? Because I'm pretty sure that was pretty stressful as well.
Yes, it was a lot of tearful nights, not gonna lie. It's not roses and sunshine, obviously. But for me, I'm very faith driven. So I prayed a lot. I sought counselor. I definitely consulted in my strictest of confidants, my closest best friend, my mom, family members, husband, to really explore some of my fears and my hesitations. Because there was some time, I remember my best friend Julie, I was like, "Hey, I don't know if I can do this." And she's like, "No, you got this.
Right.
You have a purpose, you have a vision, you have a dream, you got to do it." I'm like, "Okay, girl, all right, you're right. I got this. This is just doubt creeping in. This is just fear trying to take me off my path." And it's those nuggets, those dreams. Like my mom continuously till this day, every day, encouraged me to be my best self. That you are amazing, and it's that external, motivator that kind of sinks in to say, "All right,
Right.
you do got this. All right, let me dust myself off. Let me, keep moving forward
Right.
because that is going to be so rewarding once I get through this hurdle."
Right, right. And the reason why I asked that question, because a lot of time there's a dual purpose that I wanted to invite you, because congratulations in being successful. And also we're going to get into the other stuff, what probably everybody want to know, helping some tips with managing some things, but just I'm going through that and being successful and really keep forward moving in that, and
Yeah.
being fulfilled in your purpose, because you mentioned that before, like in your purpose. So my question is, as you navigated through those places of fulfillment, because you transitioned to another, what was that one thing, if you can say that one thing that fueled you? I know you mentioned like prayer or something like, but what was the one thing that really just kept you going, even when you were saying you had tears and stuff? What was that one thing, if you can say?
I would also say it comes down not only just my faith, but really a deeper thing is when I looked at my daughter. I have a
Gotcha.
20-month
Okay.
old Elena.
Wow. Okay.
Yes. I'm starting a business while raising a child. Yes. But I think
Wow.
looking at her and knowing that I'm building up this, legacy, this financial legacy, this, aspect to where I can tell her when she gets of age, when she's growing, that through those sacrifices, sometimes through that perseverance, through the mud, there is always reward at the end. There's always that accomplishment. There's always that, that greatness that comes once we get through it. And honestly, she is the reason that I keep moving forward, to see that I'm sacrificing so much so that she can have a better life, so she can grow strong, and she can look back and say, wow, my mom really went through all these struggles and all these challenges, and that she came out of it on the end. And I think that's the biggest motivating factor through all the, sleepless nights, the tears, that I'm so confused. How do I work QuickBooks? Like, what is this? Like all those moments, it's like, okay, why am I doing not only for my purpose and my higher calling, but for my daughter?
Right. And that's powerful in itself. That is awesome. So what makes your practice unique? What would you say makes your practice unique?
Yes, I like to say, and I tell this to all new clients, all my clients all the time, come as you are. Come as you are.
Oh man, that's good.
Your time. A lot of times I hear like, oh yeah, I had another therapist. We had to do this and this. We had to get it done in 6 weeks and then done. I was like, no. You are on, I always say this, healing journey. It's really good that you use journey in the beginnings, because that is what I emphasize with my clients. It is a journey to unlock things in you, to unlock that, trauma, unlock those anxieties, that depression, the stress. Why is it that when you walk into this environment, like work or school or certain family house, that automatically you're hit with something? You know that there's a change. So it takes time to unlock and understand your triggers of things, to process grief, to process loss. It's not an overnight thing. And I think that's why I really went into private practice, to design it so that when clients come to me, they know I'm here for them as long as they need me. And it's for a journey. There's no rush. There's no push. There's no like, you have to figure it out all in one session. It took 3 sessions with me working with a kid to say, I think I trust you. And that's amazing, because I always say it takes time. Ultimately, when you come to me, I'm a stranger. Yes, I'm a friendly stranger, got a nice smile and everything, but I'm a stranger, right? And you're telling me your secrets that you wouldn't even trust with your spouse. You wouldn't even trust with your parents, your closest friend. And so that takes time to build. And I really emphasize that, and why my practice is separate from others, that it is a journey at your own pace.
That is awesome, because I know that could be frightening. Like you said, you're just meeting somebody from the first time, and then it's like, okay, start the clock. Let's hurry up and get it done and get you out. That could be very disheartening, especially when you're going through issues and things. What are some of the things, if you can say, that you're noticing just in the world right now that people are dealing with?
Yeah, like stress. First of all, point blank, stress, I always equate it as a silent killer.
Okay.
We can identify, I'm stressed. I'm stressed with this. I'm stressed with finance. I'm stressed with my health. But it's not necessarily a construct that we like to tackle in our society. We say, that's normal. No, it's not normal to feel stress. It's not normal to constantly have stress. That's one that I'm noticing. Fear. It may manifest itself in, anxieties, if you want to do a diagnosis, but fear of that next step, fear of the unknown, fear of trying new things. And ultimately going to that is change. That fear of change, that I'm so stuck, I'm so petrified that I can't move, because I'm afraid that change is going to happen, and I don't know what's going to happen at the other end, even though I know that I had to go through this tunnel, but I'm stuck at the beginning. And then another thing I see a lot is identity. So whether it's a kid who's 10, 11, emerging into puberty, whether it's that 24-year-old just graduating college, I don't know what to do with my life, whether it's even, 35, 40-year-old that, okay, I've done this for X amount of time, but that's not who I am. I've adapted and took on others' expectations for myself that now I'm lost of who am I? And we're kind of reconstructing, that identity. So those are some of the things I'm noticing most often currently in sessions.
Okay. I have a question, and then I'm going to open up the floor for if I see people commenting. Is it hard to, because I know, like I grew up, and you said it best, like you just kind of bear down, tunnel through it. You don't acknowledge it, and definitely don't go to a counselor. That's kind of where we're in. That was unheard of, and I mean in our society. Do you find it hard to even like break the ice when people first come to you? No, we know that they have their concerns, but I mean just the fact that they're there. Is that something that you find? And if so, how do you navigate to make people feel comfortable with that? Like it's okay?
Yeah, I definitely pick up on the apprehension because, people, they'll make the first session, right? They'll get there and they're like, I know I need help, but it took me so long. That's what I hear a lot of my new clients is it took me 10 years. It took me 4 years. It took me this amount of years to finally book and sit in on a session. It's like, I went through several other therapists. I will book an appointment, don't show. I will send an email, but I won't come. And so I acknowledge that in the first session. It's like, thank you for trusting me to start this journey. That's the first and foremost. I want to, ease a little bit of that edge. And it takes time, but it's being that consistent, that calming, that I see you, I recognize, and thank you. And thanking my clients because, again, they're choosing me as a counsel other therapists. They're choosing me to help guide them and help unlock things in them that they know is preventing them from growing. And so I make sure that when I start to see some hesitancy or recognize some of the, we never talked about this growing up, I acknowledge that and I validate that. I think that's the most important thing to do in session, especially the first few ones, is validate their experience, validate their feelings and emotions, and say, I see you. I recognize that. And thank you for allowing me to occupy that space with you.
Now that was awesome. Validate the emotion. Not now in by no means am I a counselor, but I'm just understanding. So in saying that, it's more like I'm validating by saying I understand, not necessarily that what you shared is right or wrong, just I understand where you're coming from.
Yes. And it's not to label good, bad, or right or wrong. It's acknowledging that what your client is telling you is their personal experience of life. And that's you as the therapist, the counselor, is saying, I hear you, I understand, and I see it, and I own it with you. I own it in the space that it existed, that hurt happened, that it wasn't some make-to-believe, or it wasn't like, oh, shut up, I'll make you, give you something to cry about, don't cry. It wasn't that. No, it's just like, that was your experience and I see and I recognize it. And I think a lot of people in general, they don't have their experiences validated. They don't have their emotions heard.
And that's I was reading one of the comments. I'm going to put this up. Carmen, she says, as a mental health provider, what can be done to help squash the stigma about mental illness and getting treatment?
Absolutely. That is an important one that it's so critical, especially in our minority communities, our brown and Black communities, and then sometimes in our Asian communities, is that it's not talked about. You don't go outside the home.
Right.
And your uncles or your aunts or, that one grandpa who struggles with those things, but you don't bring it out. And so I think a lot of it is hosting and advocating different events, going into those communities, whether setting up, free drives for, just health in general, whether you're providing, dental, you partner with other professionals in the community. and creating a space where you're allowing those people in the communities to tell their stories. I primarily base of my clients are, ethnically brown and Black. And I allow them to tell stories. And not to say that everyone in those communities need to be narrative, but most really do want to just share. To say in a space where they're not going to be judged. And I think having that openness and having that kind of presence in sessions and in therapy helps break down the stigma, because then they have a positive association with counseling and a positive association, because sometimes I view as doctor. And we already know our perception, especially in the Black community, with terms of doctors, right? And so if that one person has, I had a positive experience with Taylor, let me share it out. Let me tell my homeboy, let me tell my cousin, let me tell my auntie, let me tell so-and-so. That word of mouth helps spread out faster than any kind of, pop-up or, community drives that I see. I have clients refer people towards me now. That I am the referral base. I'm like, wow, really? Thank you. Oh my God. But it shows that I'm slowly breaking that stigma one client at a time.
Right. And I think too, in now time, you hear it more.
Yeah.
Like when I was coming up as a kid, we didn't hear like mental illness. You didn't hear that. And you touched on that. It's like you knew something was a little different about my cousin, but everybody just kind of, that's them. And you just went on with it. But now there's more of an awareness. And like you said, because they're having those awesome experiences when they come to counselors like you, they're going to tell somebody. They're going to tell somebody. And this is a question I'm going to ask myself, because I want to ask for the people that are on here, and just trying to soften the cushion and the blow that if we need this, if somebody's on here and you need any type of professional help, I'm going to put her information up there. Please reach out. But does seeing a counselor mean you're crazy? And I'm just going to put it out like that.
Absolutely not. And I like that you asked that question. I love it, because I think that is the hardest stigma to break. Automatically we associate counseling and therapy with someone who is crazy or off the deep end, or the one talking to the wall or shouting, sitting. And it's not to say that isn't a facet of counseling, but if you're looking at a percentage, 100%, that kind of category is maybe 5-10%.
Wow.
The vast 90% are really what you would call everyday people that are struggling with relationship miscommunication, processing changes in work, changes in careers, or understanding parenting, kind of processing old situations of the past. Like, honestly, the multitude of faces that I see in counseling is someone you might see next door to you, sitting in a restaurant, someone you might see in the church pew over, someone you would see on the bus, someone you see across the cubicle next to you. Absolutely. And I think that if we continue to break down that create, like, being in counseling and seeking out help does not mean you're crazy, does not mean you need to be in a facility or anything like that. It just means sometimes we need a third party to kind of vocalize their thoughts, put it out there to where they're not part of the situation. Because sometimes when we go to our best friends or we go to our family members, we get a little therapeutic, but they're so close to the situation that having someone outside of that bubble can give us a different perspective that we may never have even heard of or thought of, that really brings clarity to some of the issues we might be facing within our bubble.
And this is so good. If you all are enjoying the conversation, come on and give me some hearts or something. Let me know that you're with me in the living room. For those that are just joining on, we have a good friend. I'm going to say she's my friend now. We're friends now.
Yes.
Taylor is sharing with us, who is a professional mental health counselor. And she's just giving us some tips on things that we can do to, keep our head on straight, so we won't come unglued. Nobody is exempt, but one of the reasons I wanted to invite her on here is to kind of kill some of the myths
Yeah.
about, counseling and talking to somebody to get the help you need. If you find that this is valuable and insightful, y'all come on, give me a heart or throw me a thumbs up and show some love. Also, if you have questions, keep them coming, and it's not too late to invite somebody in. So Taylor, I want to ask this. What are some tips you can give us that will help us well, you know what? Wait, let me back up. I got one. I didn't put this on the paper, forgive me, but I hear this a lot on our thread when we talk about different topics that I brought. Is there anything you can help mature people that are going through that, what do you want to call it? They're transitioning from, they realize they ain't young no more. I just say it like that. I don't know what other way. Is there anything that we can kind of help people navigate through that transition that, because it can be really hard. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't walk as fast as you used to. You can't just get up and move around as you used to. And you probably have a clinical term for it, but can you kind of give us some insight?
Yes.
Is there anything we can do to help people make that transition?
Absolutely. I think it's understanding human development, right? Is that there's a lifespan. We start off as newborns, we're bouncing, we're unsure of the world. When we get to toddler, now we're speedy like a cheetah. And then we go into, children and teenager, then young adult, and that these are all different milestones. And I think if we tackle and look at, age as a progression of knowledge and a progression of self, and not something to fear, because you're going to be like, oh, my back, or, oh, I've got this little hip pointer, or, oh, like I'm no longer able to just jump up and do 10 burpees and, or kind of like, okay, I got this dad bod coming in and nothing's going to help. And I think understanding that is, that arc of human development, that it shows our wealth of knowledge and our growth of self. And instead of, internalizing that, bring it outwards and say, yes, it sucks. I can't run like I used to run. And yes, it sucks that by 8:00, I'm ready to I'm ready to hit the bed. Or, man, I'm having a hard time understanding the new wave of technology. Because I saw that part a lot when I was teaching in the schools, is that we switched to digital one-to-one platform.
Right. Yeah, that was very frustrating.
My older colleagues who maybe didn't have the digital platform growing up, they're like, oh, I don't know. I don't know about this. It's like, wait, let's break it down. And I think breaking that down and really, bringing out our frustrations and saying, I am frustrated that I don't get it. And I'm frustrated that I don't feel like I belong, or I feel like I'm being left behind, like yesterday's trash. And I think on bringing those feelings outward, having an open space to communicate that will help understand that it's okay that we may have to change and transition. And I like to kind of equate it to life is about growth. For example, like if you're hooked up to a heart monitor, it goes bloop, 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 bloop. What happens when it goes like this?
Flatlines.
You flatline. There's no growth. There's death. And so kind of bringing that analogy and analysis to just progression of life. That each stage of life, there should be some kind of monitoring movement. Each stage of life should be a little bit, okay, I'm growing. A little bit, okay, I'm growing. But there's always movement. Like time always moves forward. And with that notion is understanding as we progress, as we age, we develop our awareness, our insightfulness. The person I call most often when you look at my call log, my mother, she has a wealth of knowledge. As she has aged, as she has grown, she has experienced so much life and so much history that I go to her. And I think if, others who are going through age and, experiencing a sense of loneliness, who around them, what's their circle? Are they connected with those underneath them in that younger generation? Can they pass that wealth of knowledge on?
Right. And that's a good solution. And that's one of the things that I always say, my terminology, I say don't sit and lick your wounds. You have a
Mhm.
small opportunity to lick your wounds, then we got to get up and do something about it. We
Yeah.
just can't stay there. And thank you for that, because that's so powerful. So guys, y'all know what we do here. For those that are here for your first time, you might not know this, but when something is said that resonate with us, or it's like that aha, we put a bomb in the comment section. So you just missed an opportunity for a bomb. So go ahead and drop those bombs. We have a question from Jules. She says, does this all come back to a fear of change, unknown, like you mentioned before?
I think so. I think that is one of the greatest enemies of human nature, is that we want to know what happens. It's like if you're reading a book, I'm going to flip through a couple of pages to know what happens.
Just get to the end. What's going to
You know,
happen?
if I'm watching a show, I may look at the synopsis to see what happens to my main character. It's because that fear of the unknown, it's like, okay, I don't know how to prepare myself. I don't know how to receive that. I don't know how to, structure my routine so I can, go about my everyday living. But in that, you become stuck. If we're always fearful of change, then are we truly living?
Wow.
So,
That's good.
let me say that. If we are always fearful of change, are we truly living?
Right.
Because
Yeah.
if you think about it, change has happened in you. I was born 30 years ago. I'm not the same person I was 30 years ago.
Right.
I was the same
Absolutely.
person 5 years ago. And just think of that in your context, in your age, and everyone's age. It's like you already experienced change.
Right.
The season, the calendar, it changes. Time changes. And so I think if we break down that notion, I'm fearful of my next step in change, and say, wait, I've experienced change on the daily. When the sun rises and sets, that's change. When I look at the clock and it goes to the next minute, that's change. So if we start to associate change as something positive, that is life that happens, then I think we start to be able to receive that. Okay, I may be a little bit scared of that change in my grand scheme of life, but I experienced it already, so I can
Right.
receive that next step.
So kind of prepare, but make the best of the moment where you are now. And that so are y'all enjoying this? Because I am. I'm enjoying this. I'm telling you. It just makes sense to me, because it's almost like we're so fretful of what's to go, and we can't even change that. We can't do anything about
Can't
that.
do not
Sad as
one
it.
thing.
So it's like, let's make the best. I mean, I heard Lisa Nichols, which is I love Lisa Nichols. She said, life is like, when you really look at it, you only get the day you're born and the day you expire. She said the only thing that we can change is the dash in the middle. And she said, make it dance. And that was so powerful to me, because that's what we are. We can only do what we can with what we have. And
Yeah.
sometimes that's like a silent killer, because we're so, like you said, so fretful of what we can't even change, what we don't even know about.
Don't even know what's
And we
going to
don't
happen.
even live with what we're doing now. So that is awesome. Y'all come on, keep them coming. I tell you, we got some good nuggets here. I hope that you all are. It's not too late to invite somebody in still. It's not too late. I want to ask you this. What are some tips you can give to us to overcome stressful situations? And guys, if you all have questions, keep them in the comment section. I'll pop them up. We got some bombs going. Thank you, Shug. Thanks for the bomb. Thanks for the bomb.
Yes. So
Awesome.
overcoming stressful situations is definitely having that pause button. And when I say that, is that everyone, even myself, have initial responses.
Gotcha.
It
Initial
may be like,
responses. Okay.
oh, I want to go off. But it's like, pause. Why do I want to go off? Why do I want to react in this moment? And building that pause within us helps process those stressful situations. So now we're pausing in the moment, understanding that trigger, understanding why we want to respond, and then that allows us to craft a better response. So say if you're in a relationship and your partner really upsets you, like does something that makes you upset, you have two choices. Like, okay, I can blow up in that situation, attack that person, and then what's going to happen? that it doesn't lead to healthy growth and development in that particular relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Or the second option is I pause in the moment, step away, whether it's you're having a conversation, they said to you, I was like, hey, I need to take a moment to collect my thoughts. That simple, hey, I just need a moment, allows that person on the receiving end of that reaction to say, oh, wait, I need to be reflective of my actions. And so once you have paused, you collect your thoughts, you're able to come back in a cooler state to really develop a resolution to where that conflict may not come up again.
Mm-hmm. Y'all come on, type that in the comments. Y'all missing these bomb opportunities. Pause in the moment. We got to pause in the
Pause. And
moment.
it sounds
Pause
so
in the
simple,
moment.
right? Just pause, right?
Pause.
Just
Yeah.
pause, just stop. It kind of goes a little bit in against the natural reaction. And I like to
Mm-hmm.
equate it, that's our primitive brain trying to take over. That our
Mm-hmm.
primitive brain, our survival mode is react, protect, survive. And it's like,
Mm-hmm.
wait, is this a stressful situation where I need to be in survival mode? Most times, not.
Gotcha.
Most times, I don't need to be, bearing down the hatches, ready to fight. Most times I just need
Gotcha.
to pause. Okay,
Pause.
why am I reflect? Why am I, having this response? What are my emotions? And then I can, handle it in a better way that creates healing instead of
Mm-hmm.
destruction.
Wow, that's good. That is good. We got another good question here from Elizabeth. Says, "Do you feel men struggle more than women to seek therapy?"
It is definitely a gender difference, I will say, with the clients I see. I do have a few men that come seek therapy, but I still think there is a stigma within the stigma of mental health. So we already have
Mm-hmm.
mental health stigma, don't seek it, don't go out. And then within that stigma is that gender difference that men still to this day in our society is, uh, don't cry. You don't need to cry. Suck it up.
Mm-hmm.
You're the brute force. You are the protector. You are the
Mm-hmm.
defender. No emotions, right? And we teach it from our little boys to
Right.
say, what you
Absolutely.
crying about, that's not something to
Mm-hmm.
cry about.
Be a
And
man.
so it's internalized to where
Mm-hmm.
they're in adulthood. And now you're seeing that manifest in relationships.
Mm-hmm.
Now they're
Mm-hmm.
seeking out in marriages and they can't communicate their thoughts. They can't communicate their feelings. The female in the relationship is like, why won't you just talk? Why won't you just communicate? Well, go back to the beginning. If they're taught to say your emotions are not valid, your emotions don't matter, you don't need to cry, then they internalize that, which kind of prevents them from seeking help.
Right. Absolutely. My wife and I, we adopt a saying when we, uh, do counseling, whether it's pastoral or just giving friendly advice. There's a word we always say: "Where did this start? What is the
Mhm.
origins of it?" And I believe that every response outwardly, it whether it was some trauma when we were a kid or whether it was some
Mhm.
trauma at McDonald's, there's an origin to that. And we just have
Absolutely.
to, like you said, ramble through it and find out where it is. We got another question from I'm sorry, Jules K100 says, "Do you have any other strategies for communication, relationships, coworkers, friends to better understood, heard? Oh, to better be understood and heard."
Yeah, so it starts with kind of within first, is finding your voice. And that's the hardest part is understanding your voice, understanding your boundaries, your
Mm-hmm.
expectations. How do you want to be treated? Once you have that solidified, then it comes the next step of sharing that outward. And so, for example, if you're in a work environment where you don't feel like your voice is being heard and you don't have that, solidifying definition of yourself or your voice, and it's like, I'm kind of just gonna sit back and kind of go with the flow and kind of go back.
Right.
But if you find that this is not right, doesn't sit right with me, it's starting with the simple hey, can I talk to you at the end of, during break? Hey, can I see you, after work? Something doesn't sit right. Or or kind of having, an email or a phone call and say, I didn't feel appreciated in this moment. And start gently with that and being able to recognize that there are boundaries for everyone. And that
Right.
just because you're in a workplace environment or just in certain roles, that anyone can treat you a certain way.
How can you? And I'm just going to piggyback on the question, and because that is definitely good. But having a conversation, but why do you feel it's so hard for people to have those type of conversations to establish boundaries? We just did a marriage retreat, which was awesome, and one of the common questions that kept coming up was about establishing boundaries, even in relationships. And what I've found out with people, usually if they can't articulate it in their marriage, then it goes far beyond that. It's most like personal. So, and I know I'm kind of rambling a little bit. My question is, what can you say to speak to that? How can you get somebody, to get the courage to have that conversation?
Yeah. And I think it's a lot to do with what is our relationship with boundaries, the word boundary. What does it mean? And it kind of alludes to what you're talking about. And what I do already in session is, what is the root cause? And for a
Right.
lot of it, understanding that we in our society have a lack of boundaries, or
Oh
a
yeah.
lack of a
Yeah.
lack of expression of
That's another
what.
show.
Yes, that is a lack of expressing our feelings. We have it to where if we try to take a stand for ourselves to say, no, I don't like that, especially with females, it's like, oh, she's a, bitch, or she is too bossy.
Right,
And
right,
it's like,
right.
no, I'm just trying to express that I don't like how I'm being treated. And so that's in a macro kind of scale of that, the lack of boundaries within ourselves, that we have to be able to communicate that. And so if we internalize that, oh, if I speak out, then I'm going to be labeled as, oh, I'm
Right.
bossy, or I'm rude, or I'm too aggressive. And then we're going to keep our voice hidden, which then kind of trickles into relationships with others. And not necessarily in marriage or romantic relationships, but with friendships, with coworkers, with
Right.
mentors, with whomever, that
Right.
now we allow others to treat us however they want. That we
Wow.
don't communicate outward what our internal thoughts are feeling, like, this is how I would say this in this situation. And then that situation comes to our face and we're like, okay, I'll be quiet
Right.
there, so it's, understanding the origin, how to find our voice. And it's taking time to self-reflect to, why do we feel the need to kind of bow down in certain situations, and where to do we, respectively stick up for ourselves.
Right. And that's it. That's a good choice. We'll stick up for ourselves. This is a great conversation, guys. And I know y'all want more, but we're almost at our hour. So I want to give her an opportunity just to share. How many of y'all been enjoying this conversation? I'm gonna put this other question up. I think I'm gonna put this question up. Thank you, Carmen, for your questions too. I think, Carmen, are you a counselor? She writes like she's a counselor. Being a woman of God, how do you incorporate your faith in serving others within your industry? Do you find it that difficult? And are the boundaries within that client-therapist relationship?
Yes. So that part is so difficult, right? Because we're in this notion that, I'm just going to call it, is that God does not exist, right? That we're just independent. It's just you, yourself. And so me being a spiritual driven woman, me calling on God in many, many different situations, it's kind of like in that gentle kind of way of delivering the message. So it's not saying that I am the presence of God. I don't say it within session. I definitely, embody it within my work. I hold true to what he has taught me, what he has blessed me with, to bring it into session in a way that's going to be received by others. And so I have had people come up to me like, well, we're not faith driven. So are you going to talk about God? I was like, no, I don't talk about God unless it comes up and unless you bring it up. And that can be a hard situation because you want to just share the message completely and honestly, but it's being tactful that you can still share the message in a way that people receive it and they can seek out to where the origin of that message come from.
And you know, when you were saying that, that's an excellent way to look at it, because I was reminded of the scripture where it says, "Be wise as a serpent, but gentle or meek." Some translation as a dove, and that's basically kind of the other side of it. Just because, and that, I guess this speaks to any platform. When you're in your profession, you don't take God off and hang it in your closet.
Yes.
But the word further supports the Spirit of God doesn't act unseemly, which means you just can't, because that's not what you're there to do. But it's with wisdom that we gain souls. It's with wisdom that we can navigate people to that point. And the aid of the Holy Spirit, if we really operate in the aid of the Holy Spirit, He speaks through us even in those situations to preference questions. You know, I was talking to somebody the other day, just having conversation with people, and how the Spirit of the Lord will give you questions, like you said, tactfully, that you know, well, I love Jesus and I'm a demon buster, you know, we ain't got to do all that stuff, you know, and it doesn't take away who we are. So that's absolutely, I agree 100%. In our craft, God will always navigate us when we use wisdom, and we'll find so many believers don't have boundaries when it comes to wisdom. We just haul off and do stuff, if I can say it that way. We just haul off and do stuff. But God bless you. Thank you so much. So I want to ask, how can we get in touch with you? I'm putting your information on the screen, but if you can kind of navigate, thank you so much. I mean, I've been in I've enjoyed this thoroughly, really, because I think we just scraped the surface.
Yes.
I think we just scraped the surface.
Just scraped the surface. But I'm I am so blessed that your wife reached out to me, and shout out to Ms. Neal. She's so amazing.
Thank you.
It was truly a blessing, honestly. And I really don't mind sharing. And so to reach me, you know, I'm on Facebook, Instagram, you know, A Change Within, you know, email, phone call, like I'm really receptive. And sometimes it may be I want to go into mental health counseling myself, and I don't know where to start. I love to share my journey. I love to share my story, because I know that in my experiences, the struggles I went through, the challenges I faced, you know, tearful nights, you know, blood, sweat, and tears type of story, that it is to share it out with others so that they can learn, they can grow, and they can be received with a message of encouragement, a message of perseverance. I really don't mind telling my story 1,000 times over. Definitely.
And it's such a help. Just your, if I can just say, your spirit alone is so graceful. You know, I'm ready to schedule an appointment, you know, because seriously, you seem very easy to talk to. And that's very pivotal when you're doing that type of work. You know, like I said, we speak from the standpoint of pastoral counseling, but the same applies. I always tell people, before folk will give you an audience, they got to be comfortable with you. They got to be comfortable with you, or they'll hear you, but they ain't hearing you. So I appreciate so much you coming and just sharing. And somebody asked, do you have a website? She does have a website. The trailer on the bottom of the screen, if you all can see it, that's her Facebook handle, the TP Counselor. If you go on Facebook, type that in, it'll pull up her page. And it's got all of her information on there. You can click and get her website and all those things to contact.
The booking link, email, everything.
Absolutely, the booking link. We just saying the booking link.
I'm just saying, you know, girls gotta grow. But honestly, like if you have additional questions that I may not have answered today, feel free to just, you know, reach out. I'm always, you know, available for resources.
Thank you again so much. This has been a blast. And I'm definitely, if you were going to have you back, maybe we'll do some outbreak something. I don't know. My mind always creating stuff.
Absolutely. We'll be in touch for sure.
Yeah, definitely. So guys, let me know if we bring her back, who's going to tell a friend and definitely show up strong. We want to show up strong and tell somebody to everybody know me. I'm not building a platform for numbers and different things like that. That ain't my heart. You would have to know me, but I'm about highlighting. My platform is not huge, but it's big in itself, and it gives those people exposure. So I'm about, anybody know me, I'm about pushing and elevating people. That's what I like to do. And this is our sister in the Lord, and I want to see her excel. Just met her one time, I think. I met her one time.
Yeah.
But I mean this, and I wanted to have her on the show to do all I can to push her in this. So please, if you know somebody that might need, to have some counsel done, please reach out. Let's blow it up. Let's make it happen. Tell somebody. Share her Facebook account. Share her Instagram. What's up, Pastor Keisha? How are you? Share it with somebody and let her know that somebody said, "Love you, Tay." Is that what they call you, Tay?
Love you.
Love you, Tay. and let's make it happen. Again, thank you so much, Taylor, for coming on and sharing with us. It has been my pleasure of just conversing and talking with you, and you will be back. All right.
Yes.
God bless you. Thank you so much. All right, guys. So I hope that you enjoyed. I'm going to let her information still go on the bottom of the screen, but don't go away, because y'all know this is the segment that I do what's new with me. Okay, this is where I tell what's new with me. So I know y'all waiting. Y'all want to hear what's new with me, because everybody wants to know what's happening in the Neil kingdom. So this is the segment called What's New with Me. So I'm going to share this with you. I did not have a picture, forgive me, but a good friend of mine's is on the line, Pastor Keisha, and y'all know I'm for promoting people, but she does these awesome, amazing natural soaps. These natural soaps, I'm going to put her information up after the show, because I didn't get a chance to do it tonight. But you can go to Pastor Keisha, if you're still on here, put your handle for your Instagram. The presentation is awesome. If y'all know anything about me, the presentation's got to be on point, or I don't bring it to anybody. So, but go out and definitely, she's taking orders. They're natural soaps. She's getting my package together, and I'm going to try them out, and then I'm going to come back with another review. But I know she has one on there, if I'm not mistaken, called the Honey Blend or something. She blends these soaps, and she also has oil. She has a clipping on her Instagram. I don't know if y'all ashy like me. Now, I get really ashy. I don't know what it is. I can't use the other stuff, but she has some body butter that I think is inspired by her granddaughter, if I'm not mistaken. I don't want to lie on her, but I know she told me today. But when you go to her Instagram, check it out. The body butter is amazing. I can tell that the oils that it deposits in the skin. But I'm going to do better than that. I'm going to get some. When she give it to me, then I'm going to actually give a review. But y'all go, it's called Sister Co 1. That's her Instagram handle, Sister Co 1. Okay, it's on the screen. Go ahead and check it out. Check it out. Miss Queen said, great, she can stop going to Publix. So try it out. And y'all, when you try, I'm going to tell you something about small businesses. When you try the product out, it helps us when you leave reviews. It helps us when you leave a review. So drop a review to let people know that you enjoyed the product, and it's organic soap. This is 100%, and she was telling me today, it's 100% cold pressed. That means there's no additives or anything. It's organic. It's the natural, the purest of the shea butter. That's what she told me. She put shea butter in it, and she actually gets this shipped from, I believe, somewhere in Africa. She could tell you better. But I was just blown away, because I comment on the soap, and she was telling me about the process of doing it. It's very gentle. She talked about some of the mixtures or the blends that she used will actually help with certain fatigue and pain, eczema, different things like that. So we're definitely going to get some of them. What's up, cuz? He's talking about I'm digging your living room color scheme. Well, you know what I'm saying. But I hope that you all have enjoyed the show tonight like I have. I am so honored to have Taylor to come and share with us and just drop knowledge with us. So we hope that you appreciate that, because you need to know we got to keep our head right. We got to keep our heads right, and we need to be able to do whatever is necessary to keep it in place. So she dropped some bomb moments of some things to keep us healthy. She's going to be coming back. I'm going to do something. I saw Dr. Polite jump on for a moment, so I might do some type of pop-up seminar or something where people can come on and ask questions and different things concerning those issues. This is Pinktober, y'all. This is Pinktober. And my cousin is on here, which kudos. We bless God. She is a cancer survivor. Thank God for that. And I know there are many others. So next show will be committed to the survivors. So we're going to be talking. I'm going to try to, I'm going to be reaching out to you, Tasha, to see if I can bring you on the show and just talk about your experience, because I think people need to hear this. You know, a lot of times, and I know it's a touchy subject, we don't like to talk about it, but it's like the minute people get the report of any illness, we automatically think it's a death sentence. And I got to say it that way. I know I'm treading on it, like, don't go there, but it's the truth. But one of the things the Bible says that we were overcome by the word of their testimony in the blood of the Lamb. So testimonies are necessary. Testimony encourage us to let us know that God might not do it that way, but God can do it, and it causes our faith to be increased. So I'm going to invite her on next week just to talk about her journey in her own way, and thank God for healing. And there's a lot that goes along with that, so we're going to invite her next week. And if you know of anybody that is a survivor, celebrate them, rally around them, make a big noise, make a big fuss about, because this is not a small thing. Pastor Keisha said, yeah, Mama, I have some facial oil too. That's right. That's right, Pastor Keisha. Secure the sales. I ain't mad. Secure the sales. Do your business. That's marketing. So I appreciate all of you. We have well spent our hour. Thank you, Carmen. Don't know you personally, but thank you. It has been a privilege to just share and engage in conversation. Thank you for stopping in the living room. We appreciate all of you for stopping in the living room, where we have thought-provoking conversation that's sure to change your life. This is a platform that the Lord gave me to make practical the word of God. So if you're wondering how to work things out, or if you're wondering how to navigate through something, then drop by here. This is by no means to take place of your church or your home base, but it's just that added something in the week to push you over and make you go a little further. So I thank you for joining us. I hope that this has been empowering to you. I hope this has been, life-changing for you as it was designed. You can stop and visit us every Tuesday at 8 o'clock. Every Tuesday at 8 o'clock, I'm here screaming and making a joyful noise. So tell your friends, here it is. 8 o'clock every Tuesday night. I'm here just sharing, and we just have all type of conversation. So please, please, please tell somebody, join LinkedIn. And if you would like to become one of our tribe members, I don't know what's going on with my things tonight, but you can simply text GRE8 at GRE8 to 81010, and that will put you on our mobile text club. What is that benefiting you? The Mobile Text Club, anytime I introduce a new product, or anytime there's a show and maybe the topic is kind of calling out at you, then you could drop, you'll get the first alert for when the shows come on, or if we're doing conferences or different things of that nature. So please, please, please lock it in there and go ahead. Go right over there now. Click on your phone and sign up for that Text Mobile Club. But God bless y'all. I tell you, this has been awesome. This was just the tip of the iceberg. We're definitely going to have her back. So y'all be on the lookout for her coming back and sharing with us. This has been great. I'm Pastor Dre, and this is The Living Room, where we have thought-provoking conversation that's sure to change your life. God bless y'all. Y'all have a great
Yo, JJ, let's go. Come on in to the living room. Yeah, we welcome you to the living room. Yeah, come on in to the living room. Your boy Rob on the vocals. Let's go. Come on in to the living. Yeah, come on in. Thought-provoking conversations that transforms life. Come on in to the living room. We welcome you home to the living room. That's the Drake. It's in your hand.